I have a very interesting topic to share with you today. I've coached over 450 people since 2017, and I've compiled a list of 8 common traits and behaviors that my most successful candidates had in common. And these are the people who made it to McKinsey, BCG, and Bain. I'll focus on all learnable skills and habits as opposed to innate abilities. So by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of best practices, be able to assess yourself, and create a plan to follow in the footsteps of those successful people. Let's dive in. They hold themselves accountable. They always show up to our coaching sessions at the agreed date and time. They work towards their deadlines and arrange their social commitments around their interview practice sessions. I've come across many people who consistently reschedule our meetings for various reasons. And oftentimes, these are the ones who struggle with disciplining themselves to work on a tight schedule. It's very much like working out. Once you start going to the gym, you need to maintain it, eventually turning it into a habit. If you pause for a couple weeks, it's extremely tough to regain your routine. In the realm of case studies, make sure to plan your meetings with your peers for the next 7 days and stick to the schedule as closely as possible. Next, they're committed. After each session, we develop a study plan for our next meeting. This plan typically includes completing case studies with peers, reviewing feedback, and going through the course content. Those who achieve great success consistently complete their homework. While it seems simple, it requires a strong commitment. I remind trainees that their improvement is tied directly to the time they invest practicing outside our sessions. If a trainee isn't practicing enough, I recommend pausing on new topics until their homework is done. We often cover the same topic, but use a different case study. So here's my straightforward advice for you. After completing a case study, set aside enough time for self-study, whether that's reviewing feedback or working on drills, before tackling the next case study. Before we move on, if you need any help with your interview preparation, you can book a 15-minute free consultation call with me. We will talk about your background and needs, and I will guide you on how best I can support you, so don't hesitate to reach out. Alright, let's get back to the video. The next trait is the following. They show positive attitude. Though everyone has a different personality, it's easier to work with people who are willing to learn and show a positive attitude in coaching sessions. It can certainly become overwhelming to learn new concepts and have each of your words evaluated, but successful candidates always have the patience and know that the challenge is just part of the process. Those people are able to keep their composure and positive demeanor in the actual assessment as well, and hence can create a good impression in the eyes of the interviewers. So in your next case study, ask your peer to give you feedback on this as well, so you know if you need to make any changes next time. Alright, they also know a little about consulting already. Having met many people since I started my coaching journey, I realized that many people don't know enough about consulting when they first apply. In fact, some directors at top global universities I spoke with told me exactly the same thing. And I totally get that. There is simply not enough information out there about consulting. But reflecting back, some of my star trainees already did their research, spoke with their contacts, attended some workshops to learn more about consulting before they apply. You may not know anyone in consulting, or may not be lucky enough to attend events that consulting firms host occasionally. This is one of the reasons why we launched our YouTube channel. As you have your lunch or dinner, just browse through our videos, listen to consultants from all around the world talking about their experiences. This will help you tremendously. Next, they acknowledge that they don't know much about yet. What really sets successful trainees apart is that they acknowledge that they don't know much, but they're eager to learn. Most people I meet for the first time have already read some materials or done a few cases, so they have a basic understanding of the theory. Let me show you Dunning-Kruger's confidence curve. So those people I meet for the first time are usually in between what's this and this is hopeless. I'd say that the hardest people to coach are those who are at the this is easy point, where they think they've got it, but in reality, they don't know that prep requires much more hard work. As you start your prep journey, you will also be somewhere in the first half of the curve. For you to get better, you need to be open to feedback and learning. Even as a coach myself, I've gone through a similar journey. In 2017, when I first started, I thought I knew everything. But the more people I coached, the more I realized that I needed to develop a much more complex system to support my trainees. After all, it's a journey of continuous learning. Next, they're inquisitive. The most successful trainees are often the most inquisitive ones. Let me explain what I mean. As you get into consulting, you will learn that you'll be required to think critically at all times and not just execute tasks. The same principle applies to interview preparation as well. We don't want our trainees just to memorize all the things we're teaching in our course and apply them blindly in case interviews. In fact, the most successful trainees I work with are those who ask me many questions about how we teach certain things in our course and understand where we're coming from, so that they can take whatever resonates with them and create their unique way of solving cases. Keep in mind, business administration is not a wholly objective discipline. It indeed has space for personal interpretation. My advice for you is the following. Do your research. There are many consulting prep courses and books out there which are created by consultants with a couple of years of consulting experience. Hence, it may not be very useful for you. Even if you get our Get You Over course, don't memorize all the content and apply it in your case studies. Be critical and only apply the learnings that make sense to you. Next, they know their competitive advantage. Almost everyone who made it to MBB is known for one quality that differentiates them from the rest. And they all know what their X factor is, which is even visible in our first meeting. To give a couple examples, some trainees are extremely good at communication, some are at calculations, some at P&L reading, and some at fast thinking. Since they already know their strengths, they usually make a conscious effort to show them in case interviews. So, if you're unsure what's your competitive advantage, I suggest you think about this before you do your next case study. If you know yourself better, you can play to your strengths. It will certainly make a difference. Lastly, they are resourceful. Some of my best trainees make use of many resources. In addition to our coaching sessions, they also reach out to their contacts working at consulting firms so that they can get additional feedback. They usually do this a couple weeks prior to their actual interview so that they are almost ready. MBB often assigns you a buddy, and you can practice one more case study with them to get high-level feedback. Some of my most successful trainees, though, somehow convince their buddy to give them multiple case studies, even if they don't have to. In fact, I remember a trainee of mine who made it to BCG received 5 case studies from her buddy. It's crazy. In addition to casing, they also don't just rely on one source for their case and fit interview practice. In addition to our Get You Over course, some also use resources shared by their university career services or consulting clubs, which help them get a well-rounded preparation. My advice for you is that go above and beyond and maximize all the resources you have to ensure that you're fully equipped with all tools you need to succeed. Perfect, this wraps up our video today. I hope you found today's video helpful, and if you did, please give us a like before you go. I'll see you in the next one.